Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center on the campus of IPFW as College 56 Sports proudly presents NCAA Division I Athletics. Tonight, it's women's volleyball action as the Chicago State University Lady Cougars come to town to take on the IPFW Mastodons. Hi again, everybody. I'm Ryan Perrott. So glad you've joined us this Halloween night. With me, my broadcast partner, Mark Franke. Mark, IPFW comes in tonight's match with a 15-9 record. They've won 6 straight. Their play has been fueled by their 3 seniors, Ray, Leffers, and Solberg.
That's true about the seniors that have led this team, but tonight will be interesting in that there will be 3 freshmen in the starting lineup, so get a little different look out of IPFW.
The Lady Cougars, they're no slouch. However, their record may indicate otherwise, but they're led by the reigning Mid-Con Player of the Week, Stacy Cole.
She's quite a player, I understand, and Chicago State is playing for a top 4 finish in the Mid-Con, so they make the conference tournament, so they have a lot at stake too.
When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and the first serve. You're watching College 56 Sports, home of IPFW Sports.
You know, if she continues to spill product at a rate of 3 per hour, unit cost, say 60 cents. Factor in breakage, downtime, lost sales, you're looking at $2,400 a month. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
When you think of colleges and universities holding homecoming celebrations, what pops into your mind? How about lots of fun on-campus activities for current students and special events for the alums? That's what will be taking place the week of November 17th at IPFW as it celebrates its 3rd homecoming week. Join me, Jeanette Liu, for IPFW Up Close this month, and we'll find out what's being planned for the big party. Watch IPFW Up Close Sundays at noon on College Cable Access Channel 56.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center on the campus of IPFW. Alongside Mark Franke, this is Ryan Perrott calling the action in tonight's women's volleyball matchup between the Chicago State University Lady Cougars and the IPFW Mastodons. Player introductions are underway here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center this Halloween night. Here's the starting lineup for Chicago State. Middle blocker, Allison West, number 1. Number 4, middle blocker, Andrea Rose. Number 5, Stacy Cole. Number 8, Kelly Clotter, setter. Number 10, Carrie Cedarland. Number 12, Christina Davis. And the libero, Vanessa Nicholson. Head coach, Heidi Cartisser, in her 4th season. She's 16-85 overall at Chicago State. There's a look at her and her assistant, Emily Weaver. Here is the starting lineup for IPFW. Claire Jackson, middle blocker for IPFW. Fabiana Souza. Amanda Feaster, number 7. Number 8, Kirsta Solberg, outside hitter. Number 12, outside hitter, Kristen Mann. And the setter, Lindy Bankowski, number 13, with the libero, number 1, Nicole Ray. Head coach is Kelly Hartley in her 5th season here at IPFW. 91-57, a look at her and her assistant coach, Stephen Florio, in his 1st season on the bench of the Mastodons. IPFW enters tonight's match 15-9 overall. Chicago State University 5-18. However, they're 4-5 in the mid-con play, and Mark, the record doesn't indicate it, but this is a pretty good volleyball team.
Yeah, Chicago State was at the bottom of the conference when Coach Cartisser came in, and she's steadily raised their standings till now they're tied for 4th. And in the mid-con, you have to be in the top 4 to make the conference tournament. So clearly their goal tonight is to continue progress towards making that tournament.
IPFW coming into tonight's match, they're playing with a lot of confidence. They've won 6 straight, 15-9, a chance if they can run the table from here on out until the tournament in November the 15th. A chance for 20 win, a 21 season under a Division I schedule. They've beaten Chicago State, they've beaten Alcorn State, they beat Corpus Christi, Oakland, Valparaiso, and Texas Pan America. A chance here tonight to go 7. In fact, the last time these two teams met back in October in Chicago State, IPFW won in 4 games. And talking to Coach Kelly Hartley, obviously there's a different lineup out there on the floor tonight, but the core is still there, Mark.
Right, they've got 3 freshmen starting. IPFW has been plagued with some injuries, some illnesses. They've had a tough season. They're going into their last month, and so it's an opportunity to play that freshman recruiting class that you've been bragging about all season, Ryan.
A good recruiting class at that, and this is going to be something special to see how these young ladies turn out in the next couple of years.
The other change that we're going to see tonight from the last time we televised is IPFW is back to a more traditional offense, a 5-1. Lindy Bankowski will set the entire 6 rotations, and we'll have a more traditional offense because of that. What makes this an important match for IPFW is Chicago State being in the mid-con. It's one of the 2 conferences that are in the Midwest here that we would perhaps have some opportunity to join in the near future. And so we always want to play well against mid-con opponents.
IPFW in their home white jerseys. Chicago State in their road green. And we're about to get underway here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center on this Halloween night. Allison West is back set to serve for Chicago State. And we're about to get things underway here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. We're glad you're with us here on College 56 Sports. Nice scramble play by the Dons on the first ball. Clotter sets Cole, little dink over the net. And Fabiana Souza out of the backcourt hits it wide, 1-0 Chicago State.
Both teams a little tight right now, not executing well. They'll settle down soon, we're sure. Both coaches certainly are counting on that.
Back set, Solberg, mishit. Out to the left side, Cole off the hands. Nice soft block by Jackson and Solberg. West plays it up. Nice dig, Bankowski. Long rally here, both teams feeling each other out here early. Jackson, a little tink, will score.
Chicago
1-1.
State tried to make our setter, Lindy Bankowski, handle the first ball several times there, which took us, of course, out of our transition offense. So it was a good play, didn't work for him. We ended up with a point.
Amanda Feaster, the 5'10 freshman out of Auburn, Indiana, with the serve. And there's the backslide kill for number 4, Andrea Rose, the best middle blocker on the Chicago State Lady Cougar team. 63 blocks this year. She also leads the team in hitting percentage, just around the 22% mark. Hard jump serve by Cole.
What's her stat nationally? She's, what, 5th in the nation in service aces or something?
Stacy Cole, that's correct. Great serve. She has 47 service aces this season in 69 games.
So that was a key side out for IPFW. She can go back there and take several points in a row from us.
Backslide and the put away yet again. Number 4, Andrea Rose.
We have struggled, Ryan, with that backslide all year long, haven't we? Especially early in the match. Teams come out, use it early, and it takes us a while to adjust to it. So hopefully the adjustments will be made, and IPFW will be able to stop it.
Kelly Clotter's serve played up by Fabiana Souza. And Souza tees off on the backslide, tit for tat. Point IPFW, we're tied 3 apiece. Fabiana Souza having another incredible offensive season for IPFW. She leads the team in kills, 405 coming into tonight's match. In fact, she leads IPFW in a lot of categories: digs, aces, blocks, hitting percentage, you name it. So
she's just a sophomore.
So a good matchup between Souza and Cole. IPFW scrambles, free ball, Cougars.
Ooh, that was a throw, yeah.
And
Bill Thornburg got that one.
Lift being called on Christina Davis. Good time to introduce our officials. Bill Thornburg is the number 1 official. He's up. Dan Kitchell, his assistant, is down. Kristen Mann, the freshman, out of Richmond, Indiana. And a nice block at the net there by Feaster and Souza. Point IPFW, they lead 5-4 here in game 1. Short serve by Mann. Out to the left side, and a hitting error there by Allison West. Kristen Mann playing the left side position. I was able to see practice earlier this season when she looked more comfortable on the right side, but because Janelle Pollard not into the starting lineup because of injury, Kristen Mann is getting some playing time. Nice up by Feaster, and double contact. Good call by Thornburg on Lindy Bankowski.
It looks like Bill Thornburg's trying to establish a reasonably tight match in terms of ball handling. The team should adjust to that fairly quickly.
Feaster on the left side. Nice dig by Rose. Feaster again, another dig. Souza. Free ball coming, IPFW. Bankowski sets Souza in the middle, and she's able to put it away. Fabiana Souza has made the transition out of the opposite or right side position. Kelly Hartley has decided to put her back in the middle. She's back to jump float. Oh, and Feaster misplays that short tip ball by Vanessa Nicholson. 7-6 IPFW leading here in game 1. Nicole Ray, the libero for IPFW. Short serve passed up. And IPFW having trouble here on serve reception, gives up a point. It's 7-all. Serving number 10, Carrie Cedarland. 5'8" freshman with a nice serve. Perfect pass by Ray. Oh, sweet dig in the backcourt. And a hitting error that time by Fabiana Souza gives another point. And Chicago State now has the lead, 8-7.
It was 6-4, I think, so that's a 4-1 run.
Attacking Souza on serve reception. Off-speed dink. And Cole tees off down the line. Stacy Cole. You'll hear her name called a lot tonight.
She came inside on that set, so she's showing some versatility early, which makes it even more difficult for our blockers to know where to go to set up against her.
And there's a service error. Stacy Cole, the reigning Mid-Con Player of the Week. She's a 5'11 junior out of Waterdown, Ontario, Canada, but she's a transfer student of the University of Louisiana Lafayette. Little combination play, and Bankowski can't get that tip by Stacy Cole. Her numbers are impressive. She leads the mid-con. This is Stacy Cole. In service aces, she has 47 in 69 games. That's 8th nationally. She has 7 double-doubles this season, 3 consecutive matches with 25-plus kills, and she's coming off a huge performance the other night with 28 kills on the season. And a great stuff block at the net by Claire Jackson.
While we're talking about Stacy Cole, one of the things that the IPFW coaching staff is going to have to watch is when our blocking matchup is not favorable. If she's hitting on the left side, Lindy Benkowski, our shortest player, is in the front row. She'll be blocking typically over there. They're going to probably have to do some blocking switches so that matchup isn't so obvious.
And you can see why Stacy Cole leads the mid-con in service aces. Tees off from the service line. Point Chicago State, they lead IPFW 12-9. Oh, she's got a fluid motion. That one trickles off the net and out of bounds. Hard luck there, point in possession now to IPFW. They trail by 2 here in game 1. Here's Sarah Leffers, former libero, getting a rest at that spot. She's a senior out of Southside High School right here in Fort Wayne. Communications major. And there's another tap down by Christina Davis, number 12.
Because of the substitution rules in the women's game, in addition to the libero, you have defensive specialists that you can use because they're allowed 3 entries. And so that allows us to use 2 different liberos and use the other one as a defensive specialist and get a lot of back row good ball handling and defensive play.
Chicago State 13, IPFW 11. Kirsta Solberg to serve out of Huron, Ohio. And a service ace. Little miscommunication there between Cole and Rose. Gives a service ace to Kirsta Solberg. Kirsta earlier in the season struggling offensively. She's been able to find her mark. She's been one of the key leaders for IPFW this stretch run as they prepare for the independent tournament coming up here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center November 14 and 15.
That was an issue where you tell a defensive player to get set and then play the ball with her feet still. She was moving, running when she tried to play that ball.
Man off speed, Doug, and West can't control. It's now 14-13 Lady Cougars. IPFW, 5 kills, 1 error. They're hitting 24%. CSU, 7 kills, 4 errors, 19%. Off the hands. Nice soft block by Bankowski and Souza. Feaster to swing left side. Rose is there. Out of the back line. Hard swing by Cole. Little pinball defense at the net. Tight set here. And Souza goes over the top. Great shot by Fabiana Souza. Although she's playing the middle blocking position, she loves to swing on the right side, Mark.
And what earned the point for IPFW there was excellent first ball handling, 3 straight times.
Service error from Kristen Mann gives point in possession to Chicago State. And with that, Chicago State leads IPFW 15-14. We'll take a break and come back. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on College 56 Sports.
Hi. I was wondering if you wanted to go out maybe or something, if you had time.
I can tell by your excitable behavior and verbal faux pas that you have generalized anxiety with paranoid tendencies. It would never work.
Okay, thanks.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Chicago State 15, IPFW 14 here in game 1 of this best of 5 match. IPFW got off to a good start. Chicago State has managed to claw their way back and have the 1-point lead after the intermission. Bankowski bat set Souza, and she goes over the top and down. Fabiana Souza, another incredible year for her offensively. A year ago, 580 plus kills. Second behind the great Canette Saylor.
This is the rotation where I think we're going to have a problem. Let's see what happens. If they go out to the left side, here they go. So what we've got for a block, it's going to be very easy for Cole to hit over our block there. And if we start getting hurt there, I think the IPFW coaching staff will probably switch the blockers, maybe move Bankowski inside and move the middle out to match up.
Cole going up against Bankowski. There's a nice tip shot by Claire Jackson. Claire Jackson, freshman right here out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Earlier this season, she had dislocated her left pinky finger back in August. Back in October, she started playing again, is back into the starting lineup. A very versatile middle blocker for Kelly Hartley's Dons. And that can't go. 17-16 Chicago State. Heidi Kartisser, the head coach for CSU in her 4th season. And Solberg tees off, great dig in the back. Nicholson. Ray goes and gets it. Free ball coming for the Lady Cougars. Plotter, back set, Rose. And a smart wipe shot off the block on the back slide.
That was a soft shot because our block was weak. Our hands were not over the net. And so it's just a matter, as you say, to take it off the block and get the easy kill.
Rose second on the team in kills at 215. And Cole with an overpass makes IPFW pay. It's now 19-16 in favor of the Lady Cougars. In their first meeting back on October the 7th, IPFW beat Chicago State 3-1, but they were all tight. 30-24, 22-30, 30-21, and 30-24. IPFW knows they're in for a long, hard battle here tonight. Nice kill there, point possession IPFW, 19-17 CSU.
About the point you reached, Coach Ryan, about the point you reached 20 is one of the critical points in a rally scoring game, because momentums can change, and 25 is another critical point. So we'll see what happens here as we reach 20, and then as we go to 25.
Of course, the key to any rally score match, blocking and ball control, especially backcourt defense transition, and you want to cut down those errors, especially with the last 10 points in a game. Backslide, Cole, Sia. Stacy Cole, 7 kills now, no errors for CSU. She'll go back to serve. She already has a service ace.
IPFW is actually out hitting. Looks like they're moving the cameraman back. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're moving the cameraman back, primarily because it represents a hazard for the players. Someone can get injured. It isn't so much what they do to affect the play as much as potentially endanger the players.
You don't suspect that perhaps in maybe game 3 or 4 or 5 that a ball goes over there and a fan reaches out and interferes with the play and the curse continues. You're not suggesting that, are you, Mark?
What I'm suggesting is that when you're playing at home, you get your cameraman out close to the floor in the end of the match, so get that same advantage you get in baseball.
Man left side, nice coverage, Bankowski. Back set, Solberg, and she wipes it off the block point, IPFW. 20 all now here in game 1. We've entered the crucial stages. Sarah Leffers will serve for IPFW. Short flow serve on West, Clotter. Sets left, and that ball manages to find the floor. Christina Davis.
That was a very important point for Chicago State, because I think, what was it, 18-16 Chicago State lead. IPFW fought back, tied it at 20, and if IPFW got a couple more points, Chicago State would find themselves in a hole.
Head coach Kelly Hartley shouting encouragement to her troops. They've won 6 in a row, 15 wins on the season. However, they're 4-4 here at home, Mark. Great road team, but 4-4 here at home. And setter interference called. Explain that rule there, Mark.
Well, I think right now they need to explain it to Coach Karchesser, because she felt that we had a back row setter who can't play the ball on top of the net. Their player did come over. It was probably the right call, but it looks bad when it's called against you.
Can't interfere with the set of the ball.
Until the ball breaks the plane, when the ball breaks the plane, it's a fair ball. In this case, it was Chicago State's, because the IPFW setter was back row, couldn't touch it. But the ball didn't break the plane, and so Chicago State blocker could not touch it, otherwise get the interference call.
Nice kill there by Fabiana Souza. She now has 7 kills here in game 1. She's hitting 50%. It's 22 all. Crucial game 1. Kristen Mann serving it up for IPFW. Kristen has 2 kills thus far. Nice hitting percentage for IPFW. They only have 1 hitting error, and that is the 6th for Chicago State.
I'm not sure I've seen us hit 43% before. Of course, it's early. Chicago State's at 27, so both teams are hitting well.
Float serve, tight pass. And back row attack being called there. And Heidi Kartisser wants to talk things over with her Lady Cougars. Learn more about IPFW sports by tuning into the Mastodon Spotlight each Wednesday and Thursday evenings on College 56. Host Mike Maas reviews the recent sports activities, looks at games footage, and visits with coaches and players. That's Mastodon Spotlight, Wednesdays at 11 o'clock p.m., Thursdays at 7 o'clock p.m., and now on Saturdays at 12 noon, right here on College Cable Access Channel 56. And in case you didn't catch Mastodon Spotlight tonight, Steve Florio will be on tomorrow's show with Mike Maas. So check in with that. With Steve Florio, also Claire Jackson and Kristen Mann will appear on next week's show. Lots going on the campus of IPFW. In fact, the soccer season coming to a close. I know the women's soccer team will be wrapping up their season tomorrow.
They had a big win this last week, didn't they?
That is correct. They're
Huge
at 500.
win in double overtime.
They're at 500. They played Eastern Michigan University earlier today. I don't have the results in just yet. And
They won in double overtime.
Did they?
Didn't they?
You're the knower of all. We'll check on that with Rudy Jovic, the sports information director. Pass that along.
That's off the antenna there. Our block took it into the antenna, so it's a kill.
24-23 IPFW leading here in game 1. Tight pass. Off the hand.
Oh.
Smart play by Bankowski. Just a master of that soft block. At her height at 5'4". Backslide. Souza down the line. Sia. What a play by Lindy Bankowski on the soft block. She's not tall, can't penetrate the net that well, but she keeps her hands up and deflects a lot of balls.
Now we're at that 25-point thing. IPFW has to push. Chicago State has to take advantage of a mistake like that. When you're talking about reducing the errors after 20, the unforced errors are the killers, such as service errors.
Carrie Cedarland serving. Freshman out of Waterloo, Iowa. Deep float serve, perfect pass by Solberg. Feaster swings left, over the top, and out of bounds. No touch detected. We're tied at 25.
2 errors, both unforced at 25, and the momentum has shifted.
Another perfect pass. Little take shot. Claire Jackson, smart shot there. Cole tried to help in the middle for CSU. Jackson able to find the open spot, 26-25.
Coach Hartley's telling the front line to get their hands high on the block.
And a net violation there on IPFW.
Center line, Ryan. It was a center line violation, I think.
And Coach Hartley, perhaps taking some notes from you, Mark, wants to call timeout with 4 errors now in a row. It's now 26-26 here in game 1.
I think that was a center line violation. I think that's what Dan Kitchell called there. But you're right. We're at 26-26. IPFW had a lead, lost the lead because of errors, and so it's a good strategic timeout to let the team settle down, realize, okay, you only have to score 4 points to win as long as you prevent the other team from scoring more than 2.
What does IPFW have to do here to close out game 1?
Well, both offenses are doing quite well. IPFW is hitting 41%, and they're doing that because they're handling the first ball well. They need to continue to do that, and on defense, they need to make sure they get a touch or channel the attack where a back row defender can get it up, and we can run a transition offense.
If you're CSU, you're happy because Stacy Cole right now is in the left front.
Oh, absolutely. So they've got 3 rotations of the top hitter on their team. coming up against an IPFW block that's young. Fairly good size, but young.
All right, we'll see what happens. Allison West set the serve. 26-26.
Actually, Stacy Cole is right front, so she's only up there once.
She got one more. IPFW, a little confusion on the rotation. They stack a lot on the right here. Overpass, that'll be a score. Souza shanked that ball right into the arms of Kelly Clotter. Easy point, 27-26.
I think I mentioned something about handling the first pass, right? I told you instead of them.
And a service error. Well, that'll kill any momentum that the Lady Cougars had here at the end of game one.
That also ages coaches in a hurry.
And Cartisser giving some encouragement to West, who missed that serve. Backslide Rose. She's blocked. Nice coverage.
4, 5, 6.
And 4 contacts called. Point to IPFW, 28-27, closing in. Raleigh scored a 30, must win by 2, no cap. Clotter sets Cole, and she sneaks it through Solberg and Jackson. Stacy Cole, 9 kills, no errors, 82%. Unbelievable numbers. In Fuego here in game one.
You're getting ready for our Puerto Rican trip in January, aren't you?
And she serves it out.
That's 2 service errors for Chicago State after 26 all.
Game point. IPFW, Leffers to put it in play. And see you later. Andrea Rose on that quick shoot set in the middle. Ties it up at 29. Souza, Mann, and Solberg in the front line for IPFW. Serving number 8, Kelly Clotter. Oh, tough pass. Off the hands, nice dig, and that ball's out of bounds. Hits the antenna, out of bounds, point and possession IPFW, 30-29. And Chicago State wants to talk things over here with a timeout, trying to ice Kirsten Solberg. It's now 30-29.
That was a good timeout by Coach Cartisser. There's no reason to save a timeout at this point. And like you say, ice the IPFW server. Make sure you're ready to run a good offense, because Chicago State needs a side out here. If they allow IPFW to transition the way IPFW is hitting, 44% right now in the game, that's pretty bad odds for Chicago State. So they need a good pass, and they need to run the offense.
Chicago had an opportunity there. IPFW had shaked the pass. Souza kind of corkscrewed the ball over the net, misplay in the backcourt by Clotter.
Yeah, and it hit outside the antenna on the net.
Perhaps they might kick themselves here. Kirsten Solberg will serve for IPFW. 30-29, the Dons lead here in game one against Chicago State.
Let's watch for Andrea Rose, who's going to be on the backside here, see if she gets a set. Perhaps even a backslide.
Perfect pass by Cole.
It's a backslide, there it is.
And Rose hit it wide. Point and game one to IPFW, 31-29 in dramatic fashion here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. We'll take a break. We'll check some stats after the commercial, and we'll get set for game two. You're watching IPFW Women's Volleyball right here on College 56 Sports.
You know, if she continues to spill product at a rate of 3 per hour, unit cost, say 60 cents. Factor in breakage, downtime, lost sales. You're looking at $2,400 a month. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
We, the people of the United States, in order
to form a more perfect union, establish justice,
ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense,
Promote the general welfare and secure the blessings of liberty.
to ourselves and our posterity.
Do ordain and establish
this Constitution for the United States of America.
Government receives its power from the people. Do your part. Vote.
the best coverage of IPFW athletics, please tune in to Mastodon Spotlight each week here on College Cable Access Channel 56. Hi, I'm Mike Maz, your host. We talk with student athletes, coaches, and others involved in IPFW athletics. Whether it's softball, volleyball, baseball, basketball, or whatever, the best way to catch IPFW athletics is to tune in to Mastodon Spotlight each week here on College Cable Access Channel 56.
Happy Halloween, everybody. We're at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center on the campus of IPFW. The Mastodons are taking on Chicago State University in a thrilling Game 1. IPFW edging out the Lady Cougars 31-29. Mark, a check of the statistics.
It was a well-played game offensively by both teams. IPFW had a +3 advantage in hitting, a +1 advantage in serving, +2 advantage in blocking. By those stats, IPFW should have won by 6 instead of 2. I think the key hitting stats, we know Stacy Cole's an outstanding hitter. She had 9 kills and 11 attempts, 82%. That's, like you say, en fuego, on fire, like our Puerto Rican friends would say. But we had some nice offense out of Fabiana Sosa at the IPFW side, 9 kills in 15 attempts.
We're set for Game 2. IPFW, we'll see if they can carry over the momentum of winning Game 1. Amanda Feaster will serve things up and get underway here for Game 2. Clotter sets left and off the hands. Great shot, Stacy Cole. IPFW gonna have to try to adjust to the sensational play of Stacy Cole. Jump serve and a second service ace for her. That one was tailing away from Souza, going right to left. It's now 2-0 Lady Cougars. And into that, wow, she wastes no time. As soon as the whistle blows, she's up and throwing.
And that usually works against the server because you want to take a deep breath, you want to make sure you're focused, and then just go through the fluid motion of attacking the ball from the serving position.
Net violation there. Called on Kelly Clotter, the setter.
That pass was tight. She tried to make a play on it and couldn't execute it.
2-2 in Game 2. Off speed, Bankowski, nice up. And easy call for Bill Thornburg. Double contact on Kirsten Solberg.
I think the officiating, Ryan, tonight has been very consistent. Neither coach is complaining about ball handling calls, and usually that's what they get upset about, inconsistency or sloppy calling there. And then the officiating tonight has been very consistent and in the at the level that the coaches want.
Sick cut shot by Kristen Mann there. Wow, Karch-esque. Great shot by the freshman, 3-3. Here's the Solberg serving for IPFW. One of the seniors on this team. There's the other senior with the dig, Ray.
Oh, we had a net on somebody there.
However,
called the ball down first. It was an accidental net long after the play.
No challenge by any of the Lady Cougars.
It was someone on the Chicago State side that was in the net, I believe.
Cole out of the back line. Sweet dig. Solberg. Bankowski sets man. Off the hands. Castile Jones plays it up. Bankowski backslide. Souza got it. Again, although she's listed as a middle blocker, she's running a ton of her offense behind the setter, Lindy Bankowski.
Well, that's really a middles attack right there, that backslide, the flat, set, quick.
Trying to spread out the offense. Davis. Nice up by Sarah Leffers. Man again, off speed. Oh, pancake, and slipping and falling was Clotter. Sweet dig by Christina Davis on the pancake. And with also, Mark, with that backslide, it spreads out the offense, pin to pin for IPFW.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I talked about that earlier when Chicago State ran it several times right off the bat, that it does. It makes your blockers have to do both pins, and in the middle has to decide which way to go.
Oh, is that a dig? It is. Cole with the pancake. Little tip. IPFW in transition. Bankowski. Mann got it. Kristen Mann. with her 4th kill now, hitting over 43% for the Mastodons.
Chicago State was out of sync there. They could not get their defense established where they could turn a ball and run a transition offense.
7-3, Dons leading.
Wow.
Finally, Christina Davis restores some order for the Lady Cougars.
I like that play. I like an aggressive play at the net. We've talked about that before, and Christina Davis was ready for that overpass and made IPFW pay.
Oh, a wild serve there. Looks like Chicago State rushing everything, playing at the pace of the Mastodons.
And it's hard for one team to control the tempo for the other team in volleyball. It's not like basketball, but I'm not sure why they're hurrying their serves.
Tight set here, look out. And a smart play by Fabiana Souza. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. Point there by Allison West. Allison went up to jump for that tight set, and Souza said, I'm going to have my career for another 2 years, and refused to jump. Smart play by her. That serve is long. Why risk injury on a tight set like that? Smart play by Fabiana Souza. Concede the point.
And that's because, Ryan, when two players are up at the net, both tight, who's landing on whose ankle, right?
Exactly. 9-5 Mastodons, and Souza puts that one into the net. Make it 9-6 now.
The ankle is probably the most sensitive part of the volleyball player's body because that's where they come into contact with the other side. It's at the ankle.
Deep float serve, perfect pass, Solberg. Jackson on the backslide, dug up by Rose. And Feaster loses the joust there to Clotter. Point to Chicago State.
That ball got to the net before either player was really ready for it. It came very fast.
Deep float serve by Cedarland. Over the top goes Feaster. Nice dig by Rose. And on the left side, Stacy Cole just misses.
That didn't go. That missed. That was out. But that was one heck of an approach to take that set, turn it around, go down the line. If that had been in, it would have been one of the plays of the game.
Her first hitting error of the night to go along with 9 kills. That's dipped her down to 57% hitting percentage. 21 kills as a team for Chicago State. They're hitting 26%. IPFW, 21 kills, 3 errors, 41%. Chicago State working on Solberg. She's passing nails right now as Feaster hits the antenna out of bounds. Point to Chicago State. It's now 10-9.
Feaster's gotten 4 sets here just in the last couple of minutes. And she keeps swinging at it, doesn't she? For a freshman, she goes up there aggressively.
That's going to be a deep serve there. Nicole Howell, who had been in the starting lineup for IPFW when Claire Jackson was injured in the middle position. Not playing tonight. Kristen Mannon's in with Amanda Feaster. So both freshmen getting a lot of work, a lot of experience down in the late stages for Kelly Hartley's Dons. Combination play. Cole is dug by Souza. Man left side. And that dig not controlled by Chicago State. Makes it 12-9 IPFW. Out of the back line, West. And Feaster shanks that one out of bounds. That was in her bed basket. Just shanked it a little off center. It's 12-10. Dons leading here in game 2. They took game 1, 31-29. Man. Doug, tight pass. Joe's coming. Oh, sweet up. West. Free ball IPFW. In transition. Tight set. And Solberg manages to put it away. Nice shot by Kirsta Solberg on the right side.
The play is elevated, really on both sides, but more so on IPFW's in terms of the aggressiveness of the offenses.
13-10, Dons leading. Davis. Great shot off the block. Christina Davis. Sophomore out of Riverside, California.
When you have a player like Stacy Cole who's seen, third of the sets or more, it's nice to see some of the other players come in, and there's some other talented hitters on that Chicago State team.
Here's the Solberg, tools the block, 14-11. I guess that's one of the elements that make good players great, to elevate the play of their teammates, and Stacey Cole does do that.
Exactly.
Great service ace by Kirsten Solberg. And at the technical timeout, IPFW leads Chicago State 15-11. We'll take a break and come back. You're watching IPFW Women's Volleyball here on College 56 Sports. IPFW took game one, 31-29. They lead Chicago State University 15-11 here in game two. We're glad you're with us here on College 56 Sports on this Halloween night. With Mark Franke, I'm Ryan Perrott. We're glad you're with us. Our third to last telecast in women's volleyball. We're going to be hosting the Division I Independent Tournament November 14th and 15th right here on College 56 Sports. Fabiana Souza on the overpass. Before the commercial break, we were talking about great players elevating their teammates. Fabiana Souza on the side of IPFW also does that.
And being as young as she is, just in her second year, she's developing more into that kind of player. Last year, I think there's a lot of pressure for her to do that, but she was a freshman. She was moved from middle to opposite to outside around, and she never really got established. This year, she's had a little more stability, I think. And tonight, with three freshmen out there, a sophomore seems like, you know, the old lady of the team, right?
17-12 now, IPFW leading here in game two. Rose with the float serve. Oh, Bankowski on two. And Mann wins that joust at the net. Kristen Mann, I like her aggressive play. No errors by her. She has 6 kills, 55%. Nice job by the freshman, Kristen Mann.
I don't think that went. It landed anyways. I think that might have been 4 hits, but it dropped on their side. I'm not sure our block ever got that one.
They count it as a hitting error on West, and Cartiser calls timeout for Chicago State University. IPFW leading 19-12 here in game two. Taking a look at the USA Today AVCA Division I poll, USC, the defending champs, the women of Troy, seeded number 1. They have 65 first place votes. They have a perfect record this year at 20-0. Hawaii is number 2, Florida 3, Georgia Tech 4, Pepperdine 5. Mark, your prediction on who's going to win the Division I championship in December?
I don't even predict for the men's season when I know the teams. There's so many good teams in women's NCAA volleyball. So many good programs. There's 20 or 30 just outstanding programs in the country.
Can USC repeat?
Repeating for anybody.
Everybody's there for head coach McKaylee.
Well, I've seen on the men's side where USC won it easily one year. Next year had nearly everybody back and got upset. So who knows? That'd be a great tournament to watch.
We'll see how that plays out. The championships in December. 19-12, Dawn's leading. Davis, and that hit the antenna out of bounds. And right now, Chicago State looks in disarray offensively. A ton of hitting errors now here in game two. They can't find the court.
Well, I think, Ryan, you picked up on that earlier when you said they're serving too quickly, and that was an indication that the concentration was breaking down.
Feaster, what a play. And a net violation on West as Bankowski went up and a setter's delight to get a kill like that.
No, Lindy Bankowski's been playing very aggressively at the net. I hope she doesn't, during a timeout, check her stats and realize she's only 5'4". She's playing like she's about 5'11".
Bankowski out of Temperance, Michigan. She's had an unbelievable career. She had shin difficulties a year ago, had surgery in the offseason, has come back here at 100% this year to play. And she has done a tremendous job for Kelly Hartley. And she has another year. 22-12. Dons in control of game 2. They took game 1 in dramatic fashion, 31-29. And Cole trying to make something happen out of the backcourt. Hits it long.
Sometimes, Ryan, especially a very good player like Stacy Cole, will try to do too much. Instead of keeping that ball in play and counting on the defense and the transition offense, she tried to do it all with that one swing.
And finally, Allison West stops the bleeding momentarily. Gives CSU point number 13. They trail the Dons by 10. Oh, a little sky ball indoor. Tight set by Bankowski. Chasing, and Leffers goes and gets it. The Cougars in transition, and look out. Gorgeous combination run there by Clotter, and Cole makes the Dons pay.
They had all 3 hitters fairly tight to the center there, and 2 of them went up, and then Cole followed. You knew she was going to get it, and it was just an excellent attack by her.
Free ball for the Dons. Bankowski, perfect set. There's a perfect block. Well, perhaps winning that long rally might have sparked something in the Lady Cougars. 2 in a row, 23-15. Davis with the float serve. Souza, great shot down the line.
Now that was more of a traditional right side player's set there, a 4 or 5 as we call it, rather than a quicker middle attack like a backslide would have been. I think you used to run that play, didn't you? Go way out to the pole, just come straight at it, and get that flat, quick set.
Oh, what a play. Cole gets it off the let serve, and a sweet cutback by West. You don't see the backslide a lot in men's volleyball, or even the back shoot or flares for that matter in men's volleyball, but you see it a lot in the women's game.
Yeah, the backslide came in, I think, with Kevin Furnish at Ball State. It was the first time I saw it in the MIVA.
8-point lead for the Mastodons. There's a backslide. Nice dig by Rose. Free ball coming to the Dons. Another sweet up in the backcourt. Bankowski. Feaster. Out of bounds. Another point to the Lady Cougars, 24-17.
This has been a good string of points for Chicago State. They were at a point where they needed to score, and they did with that triple combination we talked about earlier.
And another tool shot. Great shot by Claire Jackson on the backslide. 25-17, IPFW 5 points away from taking a 2-0 lead in this best-of-5 match. Cole down the line. Wow, she brings a lot of heat behind the ball.
That wasn't just heat, that was also good placement. She split the block on that.
Cole now has 12 kills. Souza for IPFW, 14 kills. She's the match high. Solberg passing so well. That's one of the areas of her game that she's improved dramatically. Her passing. That time passing the center of the court, flaring out the hit. Nice job by Solberg.
If I'd have to point to one thing that's been different about IPFW tonight from the other nights we've televised,
I know what you're going to say.
Yep. It's the passing.
Ball control. So crucial in volleyball. Rose, backslide off the hands.
And you can tell it in the hitting percentages. Normally, IPFW hits 15, 18%. In a good game, they'll get up to 22 or so. Tonight, 44% in game 1. They're still above 30%, which is excellent in the women's game because it's such a ball control game.
Usually the team that serves well and handles the ball well wins.
That's the case in Division I NCAA, just like it is in 5th and 6th grade volleyball.
Exactly. Nice scramble defense by IPFW. Davis, off the hands, Jackson. Man. And now lift is going to be called on Clotter. Great rally win by IPFW. 27-19, the Dons leading, 3 points away. Senior Sarah Leffers back to serve for the Mastodons.
The one thing I have to say for Chicago State is even though they're down by 8 points and they're struggling, they're still playing hard. they're not executing real well. They're kind of out of sync or out of system, but they keep going at it. And if they can snap out of it, they could turn this match around.
27-20. Since IPFW beat Chicago State back on October the 7th, Chicago State has gone 4-3.
There's the number 2 thing, I think, that's improved with the IPFW offense. And, of course, it flows from the passing being better. The middle attack is crisper, quicker, and more powerful. And so they're getting kills off of it rather than simply digs and transition plays to defend against.
28-21. Don's leading. Andrea Rose, the senior out of Spokane, Washington. Off the hands, nice block by West. Bankowski, quick back set, and Souza's blocked. The fight is still there for the Lady Cougars. They trail the Dons by 6. In the front line for IPFW, Bankowski, Souza, and Mann. Short serve. Out to Mann, and she puts it away. Nice shot by Kristen Mann. Her numbers now 8 kills, no errors, 57%. It brings IPFW to game point. Ashley Roth has checked in for Lindy Bankowski in the front line. She'll block. Kristen Mann will serve. 7 game points for the Dons. Cole, perfect pass. Out to left. West. And unable to control that spike was Kirsta Solberg. Point and possession to Chicago State.
Ashley Roth, I think, is perhaps a blocking sub more than anything.
Well, she's going to stay in and set. She's got Feaster on the left, Souza behind her. She sets Feaster, and she puts it away. IPFW takes game 2, 30-23. They lead this best-of-5 match 2 games to none. They took game 1, 31-29. They win game 2, 30-23. We'll take a break and come back with game 3 in just a moment.
Hi. I was wondering if you wanted to go out maybe or something, if you had time.
I can tell by your excitable behavior and verbal faux pas that you have generalized anxiety with paranoid tendencies. It would never work.
Okay, thanks.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Establish justice.
Ensure domestic tranquility. Provide for the common defense.
Promote the general welfare and secure the blessings of liberty
To ourselves and our posterity.
Do ordain and establish
This Constitution for the United States of America.
Government receives its power from the people. Do your part. Vote.
When you think of colleges and universities holding homecoming celebrations, what pops into your mind? How about lots of fun on-campus activities for current students and special events for the alums? That's what will be taking place the week of November 17th at IPFW as it celebrates its 3rd homecoming week. Join me, Jeanette Liu, for IPFW Up Close this month, and we'll find out what's being planned for the big party. Watch IPFW Up Close Sundays at noon on College Cable Access Channel 56.
This is something most people will never see.
This is a timber rattlesnake. This is our biggest poisonous snake, but it is also relatively uncommon, and it occurs in some of the forested hills of southern Indiana. This is a male, so this is a smallish male. They get quite a bit bigger than this.
Biology professor and herpetologist Bruce Kingsbury never outgrew his childhood love of creepy crawly things and has made the study of endangered reptiles and amphibians in the Midwest his career focus. That interest led him to want to start some sort of conservation center on campus. A discussion with Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs Susan Hanna resulted in him submitting a proposal for what is now one of several centers of excellence at IPFW, the Center for Reptile and Amphibian Conservation and Management, otherwise known as the Herp Center. The mission of the Herp Center is to promote the conservation and understanding of reptiles and amphibians through research, education, and outreach.
We conduct a variety of research projects on species that are endangered at some level in the Midwest, and a lot of times what we're doing is finding out about their basic ecology, what their habitat needs are, how they move around, what sort of impacts there are in terms of human activity, and then we work with agencies such as the Fish and Wildlife Service or the Department of Natural Resources to try to figure out what might be done a little bit differently to help protect those animals.
The main focus of the Herp Center's research is on endangered reptiles of the Midwest. Studies have been conducted on many species of turtles, frogs, toads, salamanders, and snakes. Today, we're focusing on the snakes. We've already seen a timber rattlesnake, which is generally found in south-central Indiana in the Bloomington area. Now it's time for another species of rattlesnake, the eastern Massasauga, which is found in northern Indiana.
Massasauga lives in wetlands which are kind of mucky and hard to walk through, and not that many people go out in them, and they're also rare, and so we don't see them very often. Even those of us who study them struggle to find them. We have a bias that benefits us in terms of finding them, and that we use radio telemetry to track them around. This not only allows us to find the same animal over and over again for years at a time, it also leads us to other individuals. With a snake, we definitely have some problems. There isn't much of a neck, and in fact, if you did put something on the outside of the snake, they would have trouble crawling around because they are reliant on their slender body form to get around the way they do. And because of that, we place the transmitters internally in the snake. We actually do a surgical operation, and the antenna runs up underneath the skin, and when we're done, you can't tell that the transmitter's in there.
In addition to doing research on endangered species, the Herp Center also does projects which involve GIS, or Geographic Information Systems. GIS provides a computer-based multi-layered picture of an area of interest, which allows an investigator to examine how different spatial features interact. As an example, here's an aerial photograph of a specific area. Another layer shows the different kinds of habitat at the site, and the final layer shows the location of animals found there. Kingsbury says having this information on the computer helps researchers figure out what's going on across the landscape. One of the things the center is asked to track is pollution.
There's different kinds of pollution. There's point source pollution, and there's non-point source pollution. And what we're helping these agencies with is methods for visualizing the non-point source pollution.
What is non-point source pollution?
That's pollution where you, like runoff from agricultural fields or something like that, where you don't have a pipe or something like that, where you can go there and say, yeah, this is where this pollutant is coming from. In fact, it's distributed across an entire watershed, and it's only by looking at the whole thing that you can actually see where the problem is.
The center also maintains a website at herpcenter.ipfw.edu, which is filled with educational and outreach information.
We as a public should care about wildlife and about doing what we can to protect it. And if we do the work to figure out how to protect things, we often find that it doesn't take that much of an effort on our part to protect these kinds of animals. Often it's just minor adjustments in terms of timing or in terms of land use, and that we can largely go about our business. A lot of people are afraid of snakes, and typically that's really unfounded. And it could be because of some experience that they had when they were younger. It could be because of some biblical implications of what snakes are or what they represent. And a lot of times it's because snakes are a little bit unpredictable and strange looking because they have no legs, and what is what is strange to us might also make us afraid. But most of the snakes, in fact, in terms of a count of snakes, I'd say almost all snakes are totally harmless, and that if anything they might bite you if you pick them up. But even that would be, I'd rather get a snake bite than a scraped knee or something like that. And with regard to the poisonous snakes, what we have found, and that what others have found as well, is that these snakes are not aggressive, and in fact, unless you catch them out in the open, they'll do everything that they can to stay hidden. And you can stand next to them, you can step over them, you can even bump them, and they'll hold still and they'll just hope that you don't notice them. They're very intent on staying hidden, and they would rather just have you keep going the way you were going and not mess with you than vice versa.
And for Kingsbury, the best part will always be working with the creepy crawlies.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center on the campus of IPFW. I'm Ryan Pratt alongside Mark Franke. IPFW has taken the first two games from Chicago State University by the scores of 31-29 and 30-23. We're about set for the start of Game 3, but Mark, check of the statistics.
Yeah, we talked, Ryan, about how we felt that Chicago State was relying too much on Stacy Coleman. As we look at the statistics, they have a well-balanced offense. 4 offensive players between 15 and 20 sets. The imbalance is on the IPFW side, where Fabiana Sosa has 26 sets. Then there's only 2 more that are above 10. And so well, it's working for IPFW. They don't want to change till it stops working, but when it stops, they need to address that by spreading the offense out and distributing better.
Souza, 15 kills, match high, leads the IPFW Mastodons. Kristen Mann, she started this match and she's done a great job as well. 8 kills, no errors, 14%, 57%. For CSU, Stacy Cole, she's the woman, 12 kills, 2 errors, 20 attempts. She's hitting 500, and then it drops off from there. A couple players with 6, Andrea Rose and Christina Davis. We're set for Game 3 here at the Gate Sports Center.
That can't be legal.
And a lift was just missed. And the put away there by Allison West. 1-0 here in Game 3.
You know what's amazing about Kristen Mann's statistics? She's playing on the left side, which is where you get a lot of errors. You get a lot of attempts, a lot of kills. She has no errors. 8 kills and 14 attempts with no errors.
Something else. That is something else. And some debris on the floor after our intermission Halloween costume contest.
The midget one, you said?
The midget one beat out one of the Blues brothers. I'm not sure if it was Ackroyd or Belushi, but one of them. And there's a double contact called. 1-1 here early in Game 3. What were you going to be for Halloween tonight, Mark?
It's going to be your sidekick, Ryan. That's what I've always wanted to be in life ever since I was a young child.
That would have won the contest tonight. There's the lift into the middle. 2-1 Dons leading. Sarah Leffer serving for IPFW.
I understand why we do the 10-minute breaks in volleyball between games 2 and 3 so they can have promotions for the fans. Like tonight, the students had their Halloween costume contest. But the volleyball teams suffer from that. They're not like basketball players, football players, whatever, that are used to that break. They're used to keeping their momentum going. And so they generally come out somewhat almost like they're starting the match all over, don't they? They lose a lot of their tone or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, pretty much it's just the momentum. I mean, they become cold after a while, and it's not like basketball where you get a chance to warm up and do layups again and shoot stuff. You don't get that opportunity, depending on time, to handle the ball that much.
You're right. The muscles tighten up. Mentally, that 10-minute break it disrupts the flow of volleyball. Volleyball flows differently from some of the other sports.
Perhaps another change coming in the rule book. 4-2, Don's leading. Sarcasm.
Oh.
And there's a service error.
I'm still carrying around a 2000 rule book, so if they've made any changes since then, I'm not aware of them.
Off the tape, here's Cole on the left side, and she gets a kill, 13 now for her. She'll go back to serve. Excuse me, Allison West will go back to serve. 6'1" sophomore out of Oakland, California. Dons trying to wrap up the match here and win their 7th straight. Souza doesn't get the touch there. There's a point, 5-4. IPFW 15 wins on the season. They're 15-9. The Cougars of Chicago State 5-18. IPFW a chance if they perhaps can run out the table. Chance to get to the 20-win plateau. Free ball coming for the Mastodons. Solberg, nice pass. Set was a bit off the net, but Souza manages to put the ball away. Gives point in possession at IPFW at 6-4.
We bragged up IPFW's passing in the first 2 games, but remember they started game 1 kind of flat like they're starting game 3 here in terms of passing. In fact, I was talking to Kevin Lane, assistant coach, during the break. He said, I was really impressed with how well he passed. That was the best I've seen him in several years. He said, you mean how bad it was? All he can remember is the first couple passes they shanked. It's typical coach, never satisfied.
Nice block there at the net for IPFW. It's a 3-point lead. Clotter, tight set to Cole, and a smart shot by Stacy Cole.
It's a nice play. That set was hardly hittable. So it's a matter of trying to make the other team make the mistake.
Feaster, dug up by West. Little dink shot, Sarah Leffers all over it. Oh, nice knuckle pokey. Out of the back line, Cole. Ray is there for IPFW. And Bill Thornburg called double contact on Lindy Bankowski.
I didn't see the double contact. I was watching the hitter. I knew the timing was off on that. Maybe it was off because of the double contact.
Service error, point IPFW. It's now 8-6 in favor of the Mastodons. IPFW thus far tonight, 38 kills, 8 errors, 37% as a team. For Chicago State, 38 kills, 13 errors, 28% as a team. Dons by 2, Fabiana Souza, sophomore out of Belo Horizonte, Brazil, to serve it up for the Mastodons. Jump floater. And it's an ace.
That ball must have had more topspin than what Allison West expected.
Souza leads the Dons in service aces this season. And there's another one.
Now this next one's key, Ryan. She's got to get it over the net. She got lucky there. She cannot net this one.
Let's see what she's going to do with it. Another jump floater coming by Souza. She nails it. Clotter sets it to Davis. And she's blocked. 3 in a row off the serve of Souza. 5-point Dons lead.
The setting from Kelly Clotter has gotten awfully tight to the net, I think, this game. I don't know whether that's a function of the passing being off or whether she's just somewhat disoriented yet and hasn't gotten a real sense of where she's at on the floor.
If you're CSU, what do you need to do to get back in the match?
Well, they need to start handling the ball better than what they've been handling it. Nice serves help, too.
Bankowski out of the back line. And another double contact called that time on Shannon Georges, who was checked into the lineup for Heidi Cartisser's Cougars.
Bill Thornburg's calling that ball handling pretty tight, but he's calling it very consistently. Now that was legal because it was first contact. Otherwise, on second contact, that would have been a call.
Great defense by IPFW, and they're going to win the rally. A lift called on Andrea Rose. She can't believe it. Great defense.
I think it goes back to the setting we're talking about. That set was low. They're either tight or low, and it's just like she's become somewhat disoriented.
There's a nice pass.
That was better.
And another block at the net for IPFW. They're on a roll. It's 14-7 in game 3. What should I do for the technical timeout? Lindy Bankowski with the jump floater. And it's a service ace. Oh, disarray all over the floor for Chicago State. They're in trouble. They trail the Dons 2 games to none, and they trail here in game 3, 15-7. We'll take a break and come back with more volleyball right here on College 56 Sports.
Did you know IPFW has its very own pep band? The Stomp Band is looking for more members, and we want you to join. IPFW students even receive a credit for their participation. Perfection is not required, just enthusiasm and a desire to share your school spirit. Check out our website for more information. Don't just play, stomp.
IPFW on a roll. 31-29.
Pumpkin's name is Homer.
30-23. 15-7 here in game 3. Don's leading here on Halloween night at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. A lot of ghouls, a lot of goblins, a lot of ghosts.
Watch this approach. How long has she been doing that? A little hopscotch thing.
For as long as she's jump floated.
Really? I guess I don't pay that much attention to the footwork on the serving.
Souza with the kill out of the back line. 16-7 now, IPFW leading. I was going to say, too, also a lot of freaks here in the house tonight on Halloween.
But that's just our team, right? The men's team. I think Jeff Petak is dressed up, but you're never sure with him. I think he has a costume on.
16-8. IPFW in control of game 3. IPFW passing the ball so beautifully. Cole out of the back line.
Oh, wow.
Jackson is there with the stuff. Great block by the freshman Claire Jackson for IPFW. The Cougars, no answer for the Dons. Tough pass.
What are they going to call it? Setter in the
back
net?
row attack.
Oh, back row attack. Well, it looked to me like she contacted that ball below the net, though. That's a tough one to call.
Bill Thornburg all over it. And that ball's into the net by Amanda Feaster.
Things, like you said before the timeout, Ryan, things are in disarray on the Chicago State side. The way Chicago State can get back in is if IPFW has a number of serving errors or other unforced errors.
Bankowski back set, and another good call by Bill Thornburg. A lot of rotation on the ball, double contact. Bankowski laughs it off.
Maybe she's trying to get just a little too cutesy there with that.
Short serve by Davis. Here's man on the left side, and it finds the back line. Great shot by Kristen Davis. Kristen Mann, rather. That's 9 kills for her, no errors, 56%.
I'm surprised Lisa Moreland can call that line call there since you're wearing her Playboy bunny ears. The head official would not let her wear them out onto the court, so she gave them to you, and you're wearing them sitting over here.
Good luck charm for the Dons. And there's a stuff block at the net. Souza. 20-10, Dons. In command, in control. They can't do anything wrong. Except perhaps maybe stop Cole on the left side. Great shot by Stacy Cole. 15 kills now for her. Match high is Fabiana Souza. She has 19. IPFW hitting at an unbelievable percentage as a team, 37%. There's a tight pass and easy tap down for Stacy Cole.
Right there, Lindy Bankowski could not go up because she's back row. She's not allowed to go up and block the ball from the back row position. So you just bend down and let the ball drop.
Deep float serve passed up by Ray. Here's man on the left side. Nice dig. Cole got it. Perhaps this is the rotation for Chicago State when Stacy Cole's in the front line. Set her every ball. She's your best player. See if they can get a spark going. IPFW by 7 now, 20-13. As Cedarland continues to serve. They're working on Solberg. Trouble for the Dons. Clotter. Oh, she sets the middle. Oh, is that a poor choice? 2 straight kills by Stacy Cole on the left side, and Clotter decides to set west. And oh yeah, head coach Heidi Cardisser is saying, you gotta be kidding me. You know where this set's going. High to the left side, Cole. Weiss up, Leffers.
You talked about our senior leadership earlier. It's plays like that that really constitutes leadership.
Chasing, Leffers can't go.
Making a key dig on their best hitter when they're on the ropes is what really keeps a team going.
Leffers and Ray. The defensive studs for Kelly Hartley's Dons. 7-point lead, IPFW 21-14. 9 points away from the match. 9 points away from their 7th consecutive win. Oh, nice dig there by Nicholson. Leffers goes and gets it. Man is blocked. Andrea Rose at the net for Chicago State.
That was a great effort by Andrea Rose. She went up when she thought the pass was coming over, had to get down, get back up in time for the attack, and did an excellent job of it.
And a service error. Every point crucial now. You can't give away points if you're Chicago State. 22-15. IPFW closing in. Man serving. 9 kills, 1 error, 42%. Her numbers. Here's Cole on the left side. High off the hands. Played up. Clotter will back set. Tight set. And Cole doesn't get the wipe. That set was low and inside, and Cole couldn't do much with it.
This is a point where IPFW in the past has had a problem on occasion with letting up the pressure. But tonight, we've not seen anything like that yet.
Oh, what a dig. Man. Well, IPFW playing great volleyball all around. And a stuff block. Bankowski and Souza. Timeout called on the floor. IPFW 24, Chicago State 15. You can do more than just sit on the sidelines. Participate in the excitement of Mastodon Athletics by joining the Royal Dons Club. The Royal Dons is IPFW's official athletic booster organization. Members enjoy priority seating at IPFW sports events and visits by the coaches with food and refreshments in the hospitality room. For more information about the Royal Dons, call 481-6643 or write to the Royal Dons Club, 2101 East Coliseum Boulevard, right here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805, or go to our athletics website at www.ipfw.edu/athletics. Just for an update, Mark, we had mentioned earlier that our women's soccer team had played earlier today. They were 7-7 going into the match today against Eastern Michigan.
The MAC conference champion.
That's correct. We talked to Terry Stefankowitz, head coach of the soccer teams here at IPFW, and they came away with a victory.
And double overtime. See, I was
right.
Double overtime.
You were right. I was wrong.
It must be leap year. I was actually right once.
The Mystic Sage of the Midwest. You are correct, sir. The women will conclude their season tomorrow afternoon. No matter what, a great job all year. Guaranteed at least a 500 spot, perhaps maybe 2 games over 500 for Terry Stefankowitz and his crew. That's a hitting error by Cole. It's 25-15 now, IPFW Mastodons.
The first set there was a great play. That backcourt looked like a backcourt D, but Allison West wasn't ready. She wasn't expecting the set to come to her.
Cole, she's seeing a ton of balls now. She seems perhaps to be frustrated, perhaps tired. Can't find an answer to penetrate the Dons defense.
She's up to 8 hitting errors.
And there's a service there by Kristen Mann. Also, to further note, by the way, with soccer, the men's soccer team will wrap up their season in a couple weeks in November. So I wanted to plug the men's soccer team because they've also had a tremendous season. Dons by 10, 4 points away, and you're correct. A lot of errors now building for Stacy Cole. Christina Davis is the next high woman in kills. She has 7, but she has 4 errors. She's only hitting 14%, so not a lot of offensive production. Cole out of the back line, dug up by Solberg. Jackson a little tight that time. Violation called on Ashley Roth.
I don't want to be too critical of Chicago State, but it seems to me they're using Stacy Cole too much right now. And what that's doing is, that you said, it's wearing her down. She's getting a little tired, getting a little frustrated. She's having to handle a lot of bad sets, release sets, situations where they aren't optimal.
And Cole out of the back line puts it away. 27-18 IPFW.
Even when another player has to handle the second ball, they know where Stacy Cole is, don't they?
Serving is Clotter. And a service ace there, a little miscommunication on the IPFW side of the court. Nicole Ray and Fabiana Souza.
Fabiana Souza reached in front of Nicole Ray, shouldn't have done, but I think it's part of just the intensity she's got right now. She wants to be in every play.
Roth, who's in for Bankowski, sets that ball for IPFW, dug up, off the hands, and Souza on one. Joust coming, and Jackson missed it.
Right idea. She went up to swing at it.
Right idea. She went up to swing, but just mishit it. Perhaps thought that the Chicago State blocker was going to go up and decided not to. Took her eye off the ball at the last second for a hitting error. Dons by 7, however. Back set, Souza out of the back line. Davis off the hands, dug up by the libero for IPFW, Nicole Ray. That's a tight set.
Oh my, that was something.
What a shot by a freshman Amanda Feaster. Wow, that ball crossed her left arm, and she hit it with her right, down the line. Wow, great athletic play by number 7, Amanda Feaster. Don's 2 points away. That ball sneaks through the freshman block of Jackson and Feaster. Andrea Rose will serve for Chicago State. They're down to their last gasps here. 28-21. Roth sets left. Feaster out of bounds. Hitting error for IPFW. So it was a tough pass there. Good serve for Chicago State. Chance to close it to within 5. West got it.
Chicago State's gaining some life. I think if they get another point or so, Kelly Hartley's going to have to call timeout. Well, she's not going to wait.
Yeah, here comes that timeout now by head coach Kelly Hartley. It's 28-23, IPFW leading here in game 3. IPFW took the first 2 games, 31-29 and 30-23. What is head coach Kelly Hartley telling the Mastodons right now?
Well, at this point, what IPFW has to do, they've only got 2 points to win the match. They need to just simply play solid volleyball. They don't have to make spectacular plays. They don't have to run in front of somebody else to pass the ball. They don't have to try to make every ball bounce off the floor. They just simply need to execute because they've got a cushion. They can hurt themselves 2 ways. One is to get lackadaisical, make unforced errors. The other is to be overly aggressive or assertive and cause errors that way.
If you're Heidi Cartisser, you're telling the Lady Cougars what?
They can't make any errors, and they have to take advantage of anything we give them on the IPFW side, whether it's an error or whether it's a soft shot that they can turn on transition.
28-23, Dons leading in game 3. Roth, combination play, Solberg got it. Nice run by Ashley Roth, who's in setting for Lindy Bankowski, and now IPFW will have 6 match points. A chance to win their 7th consecutive match. Amanda Feaster, the freshman to serve. Cole passes it up. West on the left side. This could be it. Souza, Roth. Not yet. Here's Davis, off speed. Souza's there. Left side, man. She couldn't get a good rip at it. Into the middle. And it doesn't clear 4 contacts, and the Dons have won it. IPFW has defeated Chicago State University 3 games to none by the scores of 31-29, 30-23, and 30-23. With that victory, IPFW improves the record down to 16-9. The Lady Cougars of Chicago State University fall to 5-19. The next match for IPFW, they will play on Sunday, November the 2nd, right back here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center on the campus of IPFW against Wisconsin Green Bay. Game time for that is at 2 o'clock. Mark Franke, a final look at the statistics.
Well, rather than look at the statistics, let me just mention some players I think did an excellent job tonight. We had 3 freshmen come in. They all played very credible matches, especially Christy Mann, who had 9 kills, 40%. That's just outstanding on the left side. I think we talked about Fabiana Sosa playing very well tonight, and I think a player who played one of the best matches I've ever seen her play is our setter, Lindy Binkowski. She handled the ball well. She made great choices. She was very aggressive at the net. She attacked the ball. She went up and made a couple blocks that she probably shouldn't have any business making, and just did an excellent job of, even when our passing struggled a little bit, to try to make something out of a bad pass so at least we can swing at the ball. That's why we hit 29, 30%.
IPFW now 7 consecutive wins. How much confidence does this team have going in now to the final 2-3 weeks of the season?
Well, I think it helps. We've beaten some very good teams. We're beating teams in the Midwest conferences around here. I think it's great. We just have to keep the momentum going.
Can IPFW repeat?
Well, certainly they can. I don't see any reason why not, as long as they continue to improve the play.
A final look here at the statistics for IPFW. Fabiana Souza, 19 kills, 3 errors, 35 attempts. She hit a blistering 46%. Kristen Mann, as you mentioned, Mark, 9 kills, 1 error, 20 attempts, 40%. Great job by her. Claire Jackson contributed with 4 kills. Amanda Feaster as well with 4 kills. And Kirsten Solberg, steady. She did a nice passing job tonight for IPFW. 5 kills, 1 error, 12 attempts. She hit 33%.
Two key stats. Let me jump in here, Ryan. First of all, IPFW blocked Chicago State 9-3. 7 of those blocks came in Game 3 when things were falling apart for Chicago State. The other key, even though Chicago State had more kills than IPFW, there was a difference of 25-11 in errors. And again, many of those errors came in Game 3. Chicago State breakdown in Game 3 is what really harmed them.
Yeah. For Chicago State University, Stacy Cole, 20 kills yet again for her. She had 8 errors. She started to tire a little bit down the stretch. 38 attempts. She finished the match with 32%. After that, 3 players with 7 kills: Allison West, Andrea Rose, and Christina Davis. As I mentioned, IPFW improves the record with this victory to 16-9. With the loss, Chicago State will drop to 5-19.
Well, the one thing for Chicago State is this loss didn't count against them in the conference, which is really what they're focused on now. But it can harm them in the conference if, in fact, it causes them to go into the next match, the next conference match, thinking about this loss rather than thinking about improving their play.
Okay, let's look ahead, Mark. IPFW, they play Wisconsin Green Bay here at home. They play Oakland here at home. They play Toledo here at home. They're home pretty much the rest of the way before the tournament. A chance to get to 20 wins. Obviously, that is an unbelievable achievement for IPFW if they can get there. When they play in the division tournament earlier this season, they went out to Texas. They ended up winning that tournament, the independent tournament there. Lindy Binkowski, Fabiana Souza were both named to the All-Star team. I mentioned it to you earlier, obviously, if this team can repeat, but they're playing with such confidence right now and such team chemistry. And they look invincible right now because they're playing really good competition.
Oh, absolutely. Confidence and chemistry help them execute the components of the game we talked about earlier, serving and passing particularly. Passing and handling the ball on defense, because that then sets up the offense. That's why they had one of the best offensive nights we've seen.
Just to let you know, our next telecast here on College 56 Sports will be on November the 14th, which is a Friday. That's day 1 of the NCAA Division I independent tournament. And then on Saturday, November the 15th, we'll be back for the final at 7 o'clock, both times at 7 o'clock for the independent tournament. IPFW, the defending independent tournament champions. They're looking to go back-to-back in that unbelievable achievement. You can watch a replay of tonight's telecast right here on College 56 Sports tomorrow night, Saturday, November the 1st at 7 o'clock p.m. And all these people dressed up in their Halloween costume. Mark, you fit in perfectly. Nice job by you tonight. At this time, we'd like to thank the College 56 production crew in their costumes and all, the IPFW athletic staff, the City of Fort Wayne, Comcast Cablevision, the IPFW Learning Resource Center, and especially the IPFW Office of University Relations and Communications for their contributions to this College 56 sports telecast. Also, I'd like to throw in a special thanks to Rudy Jovich, the SID, for supplying statistics. He and his crew did a phenomenal job once again tonight. This telecast of IPFW Sports is copyrighted and the sole property of the College Cable Access Center and IPFW. Unauthorized duplication, exhibition, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this event without express written consent is strictly prohibited. IPFW has defeated Chicago State University 3 games to none. We hope that you've enjoyed our telecast of IPFW Sports. For Mark Franke, I'm Ryan Perot saying good night. We'll see you November the 14th for the start of the independent tournament right here on College 56 Sports. Happy Halloween, everybody, and good night.